Hello friends, welcome to Dungeons & Dragonfly where I adapt various characters for use in D&D. I'm Dragonfly9078 and today's request comes from Milo on Patreon. This is the Chimera Ant King Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. Thinking about goals for the build, Meruem is one of those perfect being type anime characters who's good at everything, so we'll do our best to be good at everything. Specifically though, we need to be very good at fighting. Meruem loves violence, so we'll need to be able to dish out a beating while taking one in return, even taking Nen abilities into account. For ability scores, I'll be doing a point buy. We need dexterity and wisdom for our multiclassing, so those will be 14. Also, we're really fast and have great perception. Constitution and intelligence are 13. We're one of the youngest characters in Hunter x Hunter, but we can take a hit from Netero and beat chess masters at chess, so, show me another 1-month-old who can do that. Strength is 11. I'd like it to be higher, but we can compensate with athletics, and we don't really need it for anything else. And we'll dump charisma. Meruem is good at many things. Being friendly is not one of them. So Meruem was selectively bred from the finest genes from various creatures that his mother could find, and there's actually a race for that in D&D, the Simic Hybrid, but the only one of their animal adaptations that really fits would be Carapace, so we're going to go with custom lineage instead. We'll choose to be medium, and bump our dexterity up to 16. Take intimidation to be scary right off the bat, and the keen mind feat to be a super genius. That'll bump our intelligence to 14, let us know the time until sunset or sunrise, always know where north is, and remember everything we've seen or heard in the past month. That's pretty much our entire lifespan, so this should help us memorize and break down any board games that we play. So Meruem doesn't really get enough time alive to really develop a background, so we'll build our own for proficiency in investigation and arcana, as well as with a couple of gaming sets, like, say, chess and gunji. We'll start off as a rogue because they get the most skills, in this case, acrobatics, athletics, insight, and perception, plus expertise in arcana for our instinctive understanding of Nen, and athletics for our immense physical power. We learn Thieves' Cant, but that's not super relevant, and Sneak Attack, adding an extra d6 of damage to our finesse or ranged weapon attacks if we have advantage on the attack roll or an ally within 5 feet of the attack target. Jumping over to Ranger now, we get another skill, I would say Nature, and another expertise thanks to Deft Explorer. I want better intuition or analytical skill here, so either insight or investigation would be my pick. Take humanoids as your favorite enemy to get +2 damage against them with weapon attacks, and advantage on survival checks to track them, and intelligence checks to remember things about them. That'll let us find other people with our Nen and take them apart when we do. Rangers get a fighting style at 2nd level, and Druidic Warrior gives us 2 cantrips from the Druid list. We can use Guidance to boost our skill checks by 1d4, but I'm really after Thorn Whip to serve as our tail. We make a melee spell attack against a creature within 30 feet, dealing up to 4d6 piercing damage on a hit, and pulling them up to 10 feet toward us if they're large or smaller. For our regular ranger spells at this level, Detect Magic is more Nen sensing, detecting any Nen within 30 feet of us. And Zephyr Strike casts as a bonus action and lasts for up to a minute. During that time, we don't provoke opportunity attacks with our movement, and once while the spell lasts, we can give ourselves advantage on a weapon attack. If that attack hits, we deal an extra 1d8 force damage, and whether it hits or misses, our walking speed increases by 30 feet until the end of that turn. For our incredible fighting skill, though, we're going to jump over to Monk. Unarmored Defense makes our AC 10 plus our Dexterity and Wisdom modifiers, and Martial Arts lets us use our Dexterity for our unarmed strikes and Monk weapons. We also use a d4 for their damage, and can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action after taking the attack action. As always, ask your DM if they'll let you sneak attack with your unarmed strike, since technically it doesn't work, even though martial arts does effectively give your unarmed strikes finesse. Unarmored movement bumps our speed up by 10 feet, and we get more Nen with Ki. Step of the Wind lets us dash or disengage as a bonus action, and doubles our jump distance for the turn. Patient Defense lets us dodge as a bonus action, and Flurry of Blows makes 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action instead of the normal 1 that we get from martial arts. 3rd level monks can deflect missiles, reducing their damage by 1d10 plus our monk level and dexterity modifier as a reaction, then using a key point to throw them back if the damage is reduced to 0. For our monk subclass, we'll go with the Way of the Ascendant Dragon. That lets us transmute our aura to deal our choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage with our unarmed strikes. And with Breath of the Dragon, we can replace one of our attacks using the attack action, with a giant Nen Blast in a 20-foot cone or 30-foot line, which deals damage equal to 2 of our martial arts dice in our choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. Creatures in the area can make a dexterity save to try to halve the damage, but if they fail, they take full damage. We can do this a number of times per day equal to our proficiency bonus, and we can do it additional times past that by spending an additional 2 key points per use. We can also harness our majestic presence to re-roll our intimidation or persuasion checks as a reaction, though once we do so and succeed on the check, we can't do so again until we take a long rest. Third level monks also get key fueled attack, which lets us make an unarmed strike as a bonus action if we spent a key point as part of our action. Now that sounds a lot like what we get from martial arts, but martial arts only lets us do it after we take the attack action, whereas this lets us do it if we just spent key, for example, with our 4th level ability, Quickened Healing, where we spend 2 key points with our action to heal ourselves for an amount equal to a roll of our martial arts die plus our proficiency bonus. For our first ability score improvement at this level, we'll even out our strength and constitution, so the only modifier we have that's less than +1 is charisma. We can also slow down our falls, reducing any falling damage we take by 5 times our monk level. At 5th level, our martial arts die bumps up to a d6. We can make 2 attacks with the attack action thanks to extra attack, and we can spend 1 key point when we hit with a melee weapon attack to try to stun the creature we hit if they fail a constitution save. 6th level monks get key empowered strikes, letting our unarmed strikes count as magical for bypassing damage resistances. Our unarmored movement also goes up to plus 15 feet, and with wings unfurled, we can get a flying speed equal to our walking speed when we use our Step of the Wind, a number of times per day equal to our proficiency bonus. Our Nen resistance is boosted at 7th level. Stillness of Mind lets us use an action to end any effect of charming or frightening on ourselves, and Evasion lets us take no damage on a successful dexterity save and half on a fail, rather than half on a success and full damage on a fail. Our next ASI will bump our Wisdom to 16 for better AC and key save DCs. Then at 9th level, we can run across water and up walls with our unarmored movement. It's a little bit redundant since we can fly with Step of the Wind, but we can run out of those, so it's still good. Purity of Body at 10th level is actually not in character for us. It makes us immune to poison and disease, and Meruem was in fact killed by poison. But it was a special poison that killed him, and he did hold out longer than any of the other Chimera ants, despite being the closest one to the initial blast. So maybe instead of immune, he's just incredibly resistant. We do also move a bit faster, as our unarmored movement becomes plus 20 feet. Our martial arts die bumps up again at 11th level to a d8. The damage from our Breath of the Dragon is now 3 of our martial arts dice instead of 2, and we get our menacing aura with Aspect of the Worm. As a bonus action, we can radiate a 10-foot radius aura that lasts for a minute. When we do, and as a bonus action on following turns, we can force a creature in the aura to make a wisdom save, frightening them for a minute on a fail. If we want to play a little bit more defensively, instead of a fear aura, we can make an aura that gives us and any allies within the aura resistance to our choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage. Whichever we pick, we can only use this once per day, or by spending 3 key points to do it again. We'll keep upping our wisdom with our level 12 ASI, and Tongue of the Sun and Moon at 13th level lets us understand all languages, clearly due to our superior brain. 14th level is really where the whole perfect being thing comes into play, as we get Diamond Soul, giving us proficiency with all saving throws, and letting us use a key point to re-roll a failed save and use the second roll. Plus, we get even faster, going up to plus 25 feet on our unarmored movement for a walking speed of 55 feet per round. At 15th level, we have Timeless Body, so we don't suffer the effects of aging, we can't be aged magically, and we don't need to eat or drink. I can't really speak to that last bit because Meruem does love to eat, but I can confidently say that he did not suffer any negative effects of aging. We'll use our last ASI to bump Dexterity up to 18 to match our Wisdom. It's a shame we couldn't cap either of them off, but I guess that's just how it'd be sometimes. And our capstone is the 17th level of Monk. Our martial arts die goes up one last time to a d10. We get blind sight out to 10 feet so we can detect creatures even if we can't see them, and we can spend a key point to make our Breath of the Dragon a 60-foot cone or a 90-foot line that deals 4 of our martial arts dice in damage for our true Rage Blast. Also, when we activate our Aspect of the Worm, either the Fear Aura or the Resistance Aura, any number of creatures in the aura make a dexterity save or take 3d10 damage of our choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage. So now that we're done, how did we do? Well, we're pretty good at pretty much everything. We have good damage in a variety of damage types, great mobility, including flight and water walking, a bunch of skills and expertises and guidance to boost them even more, solid AC, decent HP, damage reduction, self healing, and even Diamond Soul for proficiency in all saves. For cons, I guess we're resource dependent. We have 17 key points that refresh on any rest, but we could go through those quick if we go all out, and we only have 2 spell slots per day. And our charisma's still pretty low, so we're not great at social stuff, though that's somewhat offset by the reroll abilities from our Draconic Presence and Diamond Soul. I don't know. All powerful anime characters are tricky, but I think I got this one to work pretty well. Meruem is an interesting character, but I think he's more interesting for his character arc than for his powers. That's not really something I can put into the build, though. That's all role playing, so hey, go nuts. I hope you enjoyed the build. If you have any feedback or suggestions for characters you'd like to see me build, please let me know. Thanks again to Milo for the request, and thank you all for watching. I will see y'all later.